back to another episode of the Movie Brothers. I'm Ant. This is Kev. Thank you guys for joining us once again. So, Kev, were you a fan of westerns growing up?
Oh, absolutely. I was raised on westerns, man.
Yeah.
It was nothing to go to my grandmother's house and you would see Gunsmoke or Big Valley or something like that. Maverick,
Rifleman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, same
Absolutely.
here, man. I grew up watching them with my brother, man, so love the westerns. And as a matter of fact, that's what we are reviewing for you today. We are covering the film The Homesman. This film is rated R, has a runtime of 2 hours and 2 minutes. In this film, 3 mentally unstable women are transported from the frontier of Nebraska to a church in Iowa that deals with the mentally ill. Normally a man's job, it falls to a tough, independent woman to accomplish this task with the help of a wily drifter.
This movie was directed by Tommy Lee Jones, and it actually stars Tommy Lee Jones along with Hilary Swank, John Lithgow, Meryl Streep, James Spader, Miranda Otto, Grace Gummer, who coincidentally is the daughter of Meryl Streep, and Sonia Richter. What do you say we chop this up a little bit? Let's get into it.
Hey man, let's get into it. Yeah, wow, man. This film, there's lots to chew on in this movie. As a matter of fact, Kev, I think I may still be chewing.
I think you got a little still stuck in your teeth.
Somebody got a toothpick so I can get that out. But this is you got to think. Right. On this film, typically you say Western, everybody's expecting
shoot 'em up,
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
No bang, 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 bang. You got to really think,
right.
And that was a challenge.
Right. A Western is simply just the frame for this particular story, but in the end, it's all about investment. And okay, if you're willing to invest yourself in this movie, there is a lot to chew on and a lot to get out of it. But this is not light viewing. If you go into this thing expecting to just be entertained, you're going to struggle with it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. Let's talk about the cast for a quick moment. As you might expect, the cast is top notch. I mean, with the names that Kev mentioned, everyone's A1 first class.
Right.
I was not disappointed in any way with the performance. And as a matter of fact, I mean, at times with some of the performances I was seeing, I was questioning whether we would hear these names, some of these names mentioned when the Oscars come around.
Okay, that's fair. Tommy Lee obviously has a lot of clout in the industry when it comes to the actors that signed up to be in this movie, because a lot of these actors are playing small roles, nothing more really than cameos in some cases, but they take these roles on and they put 110% into those roles, which is something that you also don't always see with a small role that's taken on by a big name. So I felt like all the acting was outstanding in this film. What were your thoughts about this incredibly complex story?
Yeah, for me, Kev, and what I mentioned to you guys, I said there's lots to chew on. So what am I actually chewing on? For me, this film represents a microcosm of life. I mean, through this story of these 3 mentally ill women being transported, across the frontier, we're challenged to think on things like women's rights, mental illness. What was the role of the church?
Yeah.
The role of the church. What does it mean to have a neighborhood where people know each other? Everybody knows everybody, and when there's a problem, the community steps in and things are addressed.
And everybody's business is in the street.
Everybody, like it or not, good or bad,
everybody's
everybody's business is in the street. And then what about God's sovereignty? In that everything is good. Even things that were intended for bad are actually good. That's what I'm chewing on in this film. And I love when movies do this. You don't get that, here are the good guys, here are the bad guys. Right. Because that's not life, right?
No, it's all about shades of gray.
There are shades of gray, and then these characters that, Tommy Lee tackles, we get that. And what's right, who's right, what's wrong, and what's justifiable and what's not. So it was a challenge.
Right.
I had to really make that investment to get there, but that's what I got out of this film, which I really appreciated.
Right. I think that was well said. And I saw this film in 2 ways. Okay. The first, I saw it really kind of as a feminist study on the old West and the hardships that women particularly had to endure, having to try to exist in that time period and in that environment. This movie does a really good job of really putting a spotlight on that, and really kind of driving home the point that being mentally unstable was taboo in the old West.
You're gonna lock your ass up.
That is not something that you really wanted to be back then.
Right.
I also saw it as a metaphor for how women are treated in Hollywood. Okay. If you want to look at Hollywood as a barren, frigid wasteland, okay, you could really see Hollywood that way, because women actors and actresses, directors, are routinely shipped off once their expiration date has come and passed, okay? Whereas men can basically act until they're 90. Tommy Lee Jones will still be chewing up scenery long after this movie has come and gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
whereas only a
true.
few actresses are granted that opportunity. Meryl Streep being one of them. So I thought it was kind of ironic that she was actually in this film.
Yeah. That's an interesting perspective. I mean, I didn't even think of it from that perspective, but that's very interesting. And hey, we would love to even hear what you think, about this film and what did you get out of it.
Absolutely.
You get the impression watching this film that this is a passion project for Tommy Lee Jones.
Absolutely.
That he really took the time to be authentic, be factual to that time period in all aspects of it, from how they dressed, how they lived, how they ate, everything. And I could appreciate that.
Right.
Now, on the flip side of that, paying that type of attention to that detail, I felt like the film moved a little bit slow for me at times, but we still made it through it.
It's not like it's plotting, Anthony. It's not like it's plodding along, but it's definitely moving at its own pace.
Yeah.
Okay. And there were a couple of times when I feel like the editing kind of let it down from time to time, when there is humor in this film to be found.
Yeah.
But sometimes the humor is not, you're not allowed to really kind of really dwell on that humor or to take that humor in before we're on to the next thing, okay? Or if there's something really serious that's being shown to us on the screen, sometimes we cut away to something else before we've had the opportunity to really digest it. So, that was just, little small quibbling things that, issues that I had with the film.
Yeah, yeah. So, Kev, you think we can throw some points on this thing?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. For me, guys, the best way to describe this film is beef jerky. Now, stay with me here. It's been cured. There's a lot of flavor in here. It's been, everything's been taken care of. Lots of care going into that. It's a fine cut of meat. The cast that we have here is outstanding. But with all of that said, you still got to chew. You're going to chew a little more than what you would normally have to chew. Right. Like Kev said, if you're willing to make the investment, I think you got something here. Right. So with that said, I give this film a 7 out of 10.
Right.
7 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Guys, this movie is beautifully acted. Okay. It is competently directed. There aren't very many things to quibble about. The length can feel a little long. It does move at its own pace. That's not to say that it's plodding. It's just a little slower than what you'd be used to if you were going to see some other summer action film.
Right.
Okay. If you are willing to take on the challenge of this film, I think you will be rewarded in some ways from a cerebral standpoint. Fluff seekers need not apply because that is not what this is at all.
Right. So what do you rate this film, Kev?
I give this movie a 7 out of 10, man.
So we agree.
We agree.
Oh, what do you know? There you have it, y'all. 7 out of 10 from both Kev and I. That's our show for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we are the Movie Brothers. I'm Ant. This is Kev. This is the place, the one and only place where we bring you nothing but the real on the real. Peace.